LA the other day, yesterday, with my friend Tavis Smiley. I'm an investor and a supporter of that station. And he said, "Who do you want for running president?" I mentioned, "I think you'd be good at the job." Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, "I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state." I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American-owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but doesn't think you can win.
And Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil, and I asked my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate?
It started with a simple question in Los Angeles. Who should run for president next? When Gavin Newsom's name came up, even allies hesitated. Too progressive. Too California. Too much baggage. The doubt wasn't coming from conservatives, it was coming from Democrats themselves. And that's where the real problem begins.
Law in this, I think we have way too many regulations and laws, as we've talked about, and this one, I think, says if you're a department store with over 500 employees, you have to have a gender-neutral toy department. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So do you think that's silly? Do you think that's a silly thing that we too much government there?
That's an interesting one because the department stores came to us supporting that, and they were the ones making a case for that. They were making a case they're already moving in that direction.
Wanted you to make a law about them?
Well, but they supported the legislation. It wasn't legislation that was enacted, that was initiated from my office, but it was legislation that came up with interesting support from the industry itself.
If California is Gavin Newsom's resume, critics argue it's not a winning one. Wildfires, crime, homelessness, and mass frustration have become daily realities. Leadership is tested in crisis, and many Angelenos feel their leaders failed when it mattered most.
Years, the fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me, let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community, I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up, they need to stop, and we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Bill Maher has long defended Gavin Newsom. But this time, even Maher couldn't ignore what he sees every day. California isn't just expensive, it's tangled in regulation, slow responses, and reactive governance. When your own supporters start criticizing you publicly, something has gone wrong.
Eventually come out and apologize. If you want to go on Twitter, Rob, and just go to the apology video that he came out eventually. This is, I think, 4 or 5 days later. On day one, I asked him, I said, are you going to come out and do this? Watch how he's finally wanting to have his people be responsible. Go ahead, Rob.
If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account.
Okay.
That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. Full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted.
From gender-neutral toy aisles to endless red tape, Maher argued California has confused symbolism with substance. Progress, he said, is being smothered by regulation. Fixing problems now feels harder than the problems themselves.
The other day, yesterday, with my friend Tavis Smiley. I'm an investor and a supporter of that station. And he said, "Who do you want for running president?" I mentioned, "I think you'd be good at the job." Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, "I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state." I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American-owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but doesn't think you can win.
Wildfires rage. Streets erupt. Communities feel unsafe. And yet, decisive action came late. Apologies arrived days after chaos began. To many Californians, leadership didn't look proactive, It looked forced by public pressure.
Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear they're unable to respond effectively and responsibly during calamity. Whether it's sheer incompetence or outright malevolence, the reality is stark. California's in a state of turmoil, and I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to...
When Newsom finally spoke, he promised arrests and accountability. But the damage was already done. Leadership isn't about strong words after the storm. It's about action before everything burns.
It doesn't seem to be an organic display of protest. That means that it doesn't have a constituency among regular people. The Los Angeles protesters were fueled by very militant far-left organizations that passed out masks and frozen water bottles and other forms of protection for the protesters. Same thing in New York. This is all organized by the far left, but the people aren't coming out. In fact, on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock in New York, everybody went home. In fact, I guess they were hungry. So this is kind of contrived, and the media hoped it would explode into something more so that Trump would look bad, but that doesn't seem to have been the case.
As violence escalated, critics asked a blunt question. Why wasn't the National Guard deployed immediately? Police said they were outmanned. Fires burned. Streets spiraled. The delay fueled claims that political optics mattered more than public safety.
California Governor Newsom wanted these demonstrations to explode so he could use that as a political cudgel against Trump and elevate himself into a left-wing candidate for president in 28. And let me back that up. So when you have the police chief of Los Angeles in a press conference saying, we're outmanned, we can't control the violence, the fires on the cars, the throwing objects at our own police and ICE agents, we can't control it. And you don't have the governor immediately sending the National Guard down to help the LAPD, then you know the governor doesn't care or wants it to explode. And that's what I believe Newsom did.
While unrest unfolded, Newsom was everywhere. Interviews, podcasts, national media. To critics, it looked less like governing and more like auditioning for 2028. Ambition without responsibility isn't leadership. It's negligence.
They didn't want it to explode, and it's easier to control it here because the city is so claustrophobic, and the cops know how to do this, and they did a good job. So they didn't give the miscreants a lot of room to set anything on fire or things like that, and you didn't need the federal presence.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass hasn't escaped scrutiny either. High taxes, unaffordable housing, and businesses fleeing the state paint a grim picture. When residents leave en masse, that's not migration, it's a warning sign.
Or the notion we just have to continue to talk to ourselves or we're in the same damn echo chamber. These guys are crushing us. The Democratic brand is toxic right now. We had a high water mark 2 weeks ago, and that was a CNN poll at 29% favorability. It's dropped in the NBC poll down to 27%. It's one thing to make noise, but you also have to make...
Bill Maher's final message was blunt. California isn't a blueprint for America, it's a cautionary tale. When rhetoric replaces results, trust collapses. And if this is what leadership looks like at home, the nation has every reason to worry.